Good morning to everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, even if it is about nightfall your time. And it is about time for me, I feel, to give my personal perspective on these rookies. We pretty much, or at least I did, and was very excited about this season because of the amount of rookies that were going to be on the starting grid. For some time, I know many of us have been campaigning that we need more opportunities in Formula One. The new era of Formula One drivers was going to start coming in, especially when Oscar Piastri hit. Nick DeVries kind of came in and went. Danny Rick came back and left. Lim Lawson got to come onto the grid 2024, doing, and then we had Colapinto kind of have a brief short stint there along with Oliver Bearman. I saw that the new era was coming into play. So right now, big shout out to Sylvia Wade Kelly getting in here first, Oscar getting in there. We're going to spend just a little bit of time just going to kind of give my personal perspective on where I think these drivers are, where they could possibly go, and how I feel about them right now. And the first one up, we already know has to be about BWT Alpine. Okay, it just legitimately has to be about BWT Alpine, especially when it comes to Jack Doohan and Colapinto. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like Colapinto is miles ahead. What's going on, Miss Dino? Miles ahead, head and shoulders above just an absolute, complete, and better driver than Jack Doohan, but he is better. He is better. I said he was better. All right. I won $100 bet from my brother because he's actually a bit better, and he is marginally better. And when I say marginally, I do mean marginal. I'm going to be very objective and honest with that. I do not see Colapinto to the degree that I did initially, but I still do see him better. And let's just keep it a straight fact. Doohan right now, 2024, 2025 season, Jack Doohan came in. And Jack Doohan is yet to be in the standard 20 drivers of Formula One. Now, of course, I say standard 20 because typically we'll have more than 20 drivers come in and out of Formula One that will officially get onto the docket because they have completed a Grand Prix or even entered or started a Grand Prix. He has yet at any point in time, whether that be 2024 with a single time or any stint that he had this season, kind of certified as a rookie, been in the top 20, not even top 20, the standard 20. The standard 20 of driver rankings, he's been below 20. If you've had more than 20 drivers, Jack Doohan has been outside of the 20 drivers that will be standardized on that chart. As well as he's had a couple of incidents this season with Alpine, and that's the most important thing. I know my brother, what's going on, Lord Chaos, Miss Dino? I know my brother, Mechanic Mercedes, wanted to keep talking about what Colapinto did with Williams. That's Williams. That's not Alpine business. This is Alpine business. And as it sits for Alpine business, while Colapinto has had his opportunity at Alpine, he's done just a bit better. Gasly is by far the certified driver, but he's not a rookie, so we're not really going into Gasly. But if both of these two rookies are going to be weighed this season, Colapinto is going to be the better driver, and Colapinto has already finished higher than his teammate Jack Doohan at any point in time in his career. Colapinto making the best of his opportunity right now, finishing there. All right, he's qualified. He's qualified as high as eighth. And Jack Doohan, his best result has been 13th and qualifying as high as 11th. So when it sits here and we talk about these things, right now, Colapinto has earned the right to stay in that seat a bit longer if they were already considering taking a swap again to give Jack Doohan another opportunity. I said give Jack Doohan got six, give Colapinto as much time as you think he's going to earn. If that's six and he hasn't done it, cut him off. But evidently, they felt Colapinto earned a bit more time. All right. And he kind of proved in some degree, you got to be present. You got to be there when opportunity presents itself. And he was there and he placed higher than any time Jack Doohan has. So right now, that's what we got with them. I don't see any obnoxiously upside. I'm not excited. I'm not wowed about Colapinto's performance. I'm just like, it's what I said he would be, and it's not glamorous, but if you're weighing those two, it is what it is. All right, so then as we also sit down here, we will go into some of these other drivers that we will talk about, especially when it comes to let's just keep it a buck. When it comes to I really want to leave Antonelli last. All right. So the next driver I'm going to go into is Oliver Bearman. And when it comes to Oliver Bearman, I feel like Oliver Bearman is a driver who should not possibly be considered bad at all. Okay. He Oliver Bearman is in definitely in a situation where it's not the best, but it is an improving situation. All right. He he's finished as high as he's currently 16th in the driver's ranking, I believe. I believe Oliver Bearman is currently 16th in the driver's ranking. So he's inside the standard 20. I didn't have the best outlook for Oliver coming out of F2, but since then, I think Oliver has, I don't, not has, I think Oliver is finding his ground. I think Oliver is finding himself, and he's finding himself in not the easiest of situations, right? He's not finding himself in a situation like Antonelli. He's not even in as good as a situation as Hadjar. He's with Haas, which is a better situation than Kick Sauber right now to a degree, but it's not the best. Okay, we don't know Haas to have a fine-tuned operation. We don't even know Haas to have an owner who really cares to implement and contribute and participate in the sport well enough than more than marketing standpoint for Gene Haas and his team. So to me, Oliver Bearman, to me, is doing a decent job where he is, okay? He's got his highest 6. He's qualified as 10th, so he's moved up, and I think that was both at Zandvoort. No, one was at Japan, and then the other was at Zandvoort. So to me, Oliver Bearman has some upside. To me, he does have some upside as a rookie, and I'm looking forward to seeing him improve next season and Haas improve next season because they do have this collaboration with Toyota. I am looking for some gems to come of that collaboration. I am also looking for Toyota to grow and expound a bit more of their partnership with Haas in that collaboration. Now, we do know Haas has been what? They've been a carousel of sponsors, and that's one of their downfalls. It's one of their stains. We also know them to be what? Wrecking is racing. We've already seen the dual pirouette by Ocon and Oliver Bearman. I was kind of a little bit skeptical about how Ocon was going to affect Bearman next to him being a rookie and seeing how abrasive Ocon has been with his other teammates. But as of right now, it doesn't seem like any of that is going on. So Oliver Bearman is having the opportunity to do what I would hope he could do. And that is hopefully grow into a fine Formula One driver. Okay. The next driver we're going to go into is going to absolutely be Bortoleto. All right. We're going to go into Bortoleto next. And Bortoleto is an F2 champion. Bortoleto is an F2 champion. And with F2 champion status comes F2 champion expectations. World champion expectations. You got to hold those expectations back, okay? This team and Kick Sauber and then Alfa Romeo was crap before he got there. It was crap when he was in F2. It's crap when he got there. And still and yet, we've seen some surprising things from Sauber this season, okay? By way of a magical Cinderella story for Hulk, I don't ever see that happen again. And that man's been in the sport for probably over 10 years, I believe. And it's his first podium ever, okay? Bortoleto, will be the future of Audi as long as he doesn't do anything crazy. I don't know where Hulk will sit with that, but I do believe Bortoleto is going to be anticipated to usher in the era of Audi as they start getting this team together and hit the grid. Bortoleto not only being an F2 champion, but he is part of a very failing to me program that will be improving. He's currently, it's still, even with this team that he's with, Bortoleto's still in the standard 20 of drivers. He's 18th right now. So he's in the standard 20, and he's not in the best situation. So I think this young gentleman should continue to grow. He has had a couple of collisions this season, right? But most of these rookies have. Only 2 of these rookies have managed to reach the top step, which we'll talk about those. So, yes, Bortoleto, I still see some promise. I like the way he handles himself. And quite frankly, I've seen him against some very well-seasoned drivers, and I think he does have promise. So I'm in on Bortoleto as well. All right, I'm kind of, I hate to say, I don't hate to say this, I'm kind of out on Jack Doohan. I'm on the fence about Colapinto. All right, I'm on, and I think to see more things from Bearman. Bortoleto, I'm definitely looking to see more from him. The next driver that we will get into in short order is going to be Kimi Antonelli. Kimi Antonelli, out of any of these rookies, out of any of these rookies, is by far in the best situation as far as team, as far as organization, as far as a process that goes from here to there. Not maybe the best process because he missed that window of horrible development by Mercedes. But at this point in time, James Allison and everything, he's in a better situation there. By far, any of these rookies, Antonelli is in the best situation. And it shows. It does show. It shows when you statistically look at the fact that he is sitting right now 7th in the Drivers' Championship. He's inside of the top 10 Drivers' Championship. I do believe that is correct. Matter of fact, I'm going to check that right now. Because saying that a rookie driver, to me, is in the top 10 and 7th is an accolade. Yes, he is 7th. That's an accolade. To me, that is an accolade. To me, that deserves some applaud. I know he's in a better situation. I get all of that. I do. But still, you can only do what you have to do with when it's given to you. And that's what he's done. My pause for Antonelli is a situation that does have something to do with the racing environment, but doesn't have anything to do with the development of Mercedes. And that is the situation that has been surrounding us all. And that's Toto, Max Verstappen, and the uncertainty of who's going to have a driver's seat at Mercedes. Right now, Russell, to my knowledge, doesn't even have a contract solidified in an agreement. Kimi Antonelli coming in as a rookie and kind of being in that mentally has impacted him. His situations on track, he's had a couple of collisions. He's had several car failures. That has emotionally impacted him. He's been on a downswing right now, and that's emotionally impacted him. He's 18 years old. He's literally a teenager. These situations, I think, are impacting him more, and I'm hoping that he can climb from that and excel from that. And I'm hoping that this is not going to be a situation like Indianapolis Colts and Anthony Richardson, where you know you got a project, you know you have a prospect, you know you have somebody you're trying to groom to grow, and then you're going to cut them off at the knees before you know it and ship them out. DG Big Blue, what's going on? But honestly, Antonelli needs to have a good environment around him. He does, okay? And let's not also forget, Antonelli, he's one of 2 rookies of this class to be on a podium. He got his podium. He got to understand what it is to be on those steps and celebrate, all right? And of all places, where Lewis Hamilton has some very good memories in Canada. So Antonelli definitely looking to go forward. He's going to have to stay on there. He's going to have to get control of his emotions. And my rookie, I don't want to say my rookie because Sylvia Wade Kelly has claimed to the rookie of this season, Hadjar. I had Oscar Piastri, and I still roll with Oscar. But I liked Hadjar coming in here. I like what I saw from him in F2. I like what I saw from him as his personality. Lord Chaos in the Super Chat says, Kimi just needs to calm down and have a good weekend. I think he's pushing the car a bit too hard for him to be unfamiliar with it. I agree. And we've seen this. We saw this even before this season when he got an opportunity to get into that car. We've seen that Kimi can push unnecessarily hard on the car, and before he really understands it, the buildup was a situation, and then he kind of got control of that. But now I think he's stressing, he's emotionally under pressure, and he's pressing himself beyond what he needs to right now, and it's causing him to make more mistakes. It's causing him to continuously go on this down spiral. And somebody who looked like they were going to be on a down spiral is on an upward trend, and that's Hadjar. First race of the season, heavy scrutiny, heavy criticism, major doubt on what he was going to be, and a lot of jokes about Hadjar. And since then, Hadjar has done nothing short of improve, even when he had a small down moment, and now he's on podium. One of 2 rookie drivers this season to be on the steps. I'm all in on Hadjar. To me, he's the better rookie. And I also feel if Hadjar was in a Mercedes, I think he'd be doing better than Kimi Antonelli. He's handling his emotional roller coaster better than Kimi Antonelli. True, he's 2 years older than Kimi Antonelli. I think Hadjar's 20 or 21, so he's 2 or 3 years older. That means a lot when it comes to handling your emotions. And I also think Hadjar has been in some situations that have allowed him to be forged a bit more to deal with these situations. But Hadjar is proving himself, and he's showing the doubters that you were wrong. Now, just like I said, Kimi landed in one of the best spots out of these rookies, Hadjar is in a very conflicting spot more than any of these rookies. Why? Because Red Bull is a pressure cooker. Red Bull is either you're producing or you're not, either you're out or you're down. Okay? It's a pressure cooking team. They're looking for results as soon as possible. And if you give them any reason, any doubt that you don't have the promise, they're going to replace you because they have 2 teams, 4 cars, and 4 drivers, and a carousel of junior drivers that they can do that with. I think it's unfair. I don't think it should be the situation. I think it needs to be banned and broken apart, but it is what it is right now, so we have to talk about it how it lay. Hajar is in a pressure cooking situation. Why? Because the better he performs at the Racing Bulls, the more the higher ups are going to want him in a Red Bull. And up until this point, the second Red Bull seat has been entirely a career killer or dampener. Now, the up thing about that, the positive thing about that, if you want to look at it as positive, is the environment at Red Bull has changed. Christian Horner is gone. Jonathan Wheatley is gone. Cullum is gone. A lot of things have changed. Helmut Marko may not be there, hopefully sooner than later. Red Bull as a team might also start functioning as the Racing Bulls as a team. It's no surprise Lim Lawson promoted prematurely, gets demoted accurately, and then looks a little bit better. Hajar, I've heard reports, don't know how true it is, possibly more of a rumor than it is actual reporting, is not on to be promoted right now. He's feeling very comfortable where he is. He likes his team. He's doing well. I think Hajar will take those necessary steps unless circumstances change to the point where Hajar feels this is not the same Red Bull team. And we already know Helmut tried to basically sell us on he didn't know Yuki didn't have the same updates and basically essentially the same cars, Max Verstappen, to compete with his teammate. No, I'm not believing that. You might believe it. I'm not buying that for $1 at all. And if Hajar sees that, then he knows it's not the best spot for me. I'm going to stay right here until things change. And I think Helmut Marko leaving Red Bull will be a key indicator that now may be an opportunity for you to move up and not be suppressed down. That is where I am with that. So Hajar, stay where you are. He is my top rookie of the season thus far, unless something else changes, and everything can change, and we'll talk about it then. But right now, Hajar to me is the top performing rookie. Yes, in qualifying, Antonelli has done better. They both have a 3rd place podium, but Antonelli has the better car. Antonelli has the better team. And I think in this situation, if roles were swapped, I think Hajar would perform better than Antonelli at Mercedes. That's where I sit. So let me know where you sit about these rookies. Let me know who you think your top rookie is. Let me know what you think about Hajar, how he's improving, what you think Kimi's going to do, how you think Bortoleto might do once the team becomes Audi. What do you think Alpine's going to do about these 2 drivers, Carlo Pinto and Jack Doohan? And let me know also Oliver Behrman, Ed Haas, what would you expect from him in those conditions if they were to improve with Toyota? Down below in the comment section and in the live chat. Big shout out to everybody that pulled up. We will be live again because we're in another race weekend. We're going into Italy. Ferrari's going to be under pressure, and I want to see what the hell they're going to do in response of this double DNF this past week in Zandvoort. All right, see you on the next one.